Welcome to the Sheénanigans Podcast.
Alright, 20th episode of the podcast. Welcome, ladies and gents, to the Sheénanigans Podcast, Artist Edition with Ashanasu Mazura. My name is Ashanasu Mazura, and today I am joined by rising self-proclaimed sexistential pop artist, Brad Stank. Brad Stank is a Liverpool-based musician with popular tracks such as OTD, Pondweed, and Flirting in Space. Brad actually released an album called Kinky Yom recently, so make sure you go and stream it. After you finish listening to this episode of the podcast, though, of course. Welcome, Brad Stank, to the podcast. Okay, cool. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sheénanigans Podcast. Today I am joined by Brad Stank. So, are we going by Bradley or Brad or I don't know, what do you want to go by? Brad? Brad, okay, cool.
Sure.
Okay, so today me and Brad will be talking about his like sorts of influences, some of his favorite lyrics that he's written, a song that he wishes he's made, etc., etc. Let's just get right into it. So, as always, we start off with a joke because, I mean, Brad, you've listened to the podcast before, of course. So, yeah. So, we always start off with a joke. So, just as like a little icebreaker kind of thing. So, I was on the phone with my wife and said, "I'm almost home. Honey, please put the coffee maker on." After a 20-second pause, I asked, "You still there, sweetheart?" She replied, "Yeah, but I don't think the coffee maker wants to talk right now." Okay.
Nice.
No, like as always, I just got that off Reddit. Like I don't know, maybe 20 the podcast started. I always forget to do it. But anyway, let's just get right into it. I should probably put my mask on. Actually, no, I don't need a mask to do it. Okay, never mind. Forget that. Okay, let's just get right into it. So, how was your journey here? How was your journey to Skype to discuss the thing? How was your journey?
It was good, man. I came all the way from my window. Just
Oh yeah. Yeah.
good. On my on my wheelie chair, so it's good fun. Good fun.
That's pretty lit. Fair enough. All right, let's get really into it. So you've mentioned before, right? When I was doing my research and all of that, that your stage name Brad Stank was just something that you thought sounded funny at the time, and it kind of stuck. But if you could, would you ever change it to something else?
Maybe.
Like,
Because I think it. I don't know. Maybe not though. Like I like it.
yeah,
But I always have ideas of like what I could change it to as well.
yeah, I get you.
I thought about changing it to Be Thankful for a little bit.
That's a pretty cool name.
Which is like obviously it's kind of like Be Stank as well.
Yeah,
Sort of rhymes. So maybe like a DJ name or something. Be Thankful.
Be Stankful sounds pretty good. Be Stankful.
Yeah.
That's
Be Thankful as well. Yeah.
yeah.
So probably not. I think I'll keep it forever now.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, because I know that like some artists, right? Like I don't know. I think Childish Gambino and maybe Alex Turner, you know, from Arctic Monkeys. They like sometimes in interviews people will call them by their name, and they're just like you can see them kind of cringe a little bit when they get called by their stage name. But you know, yeah, that's interesting coming from you.
Yeah.
Okay, so your genre, right? It kind of like blends a whole bunch of genres together, if you get what I mean. And I've spent quite a bit of time thinking about what your genre in particular would be, because you've got a very kind of gravelly tone, I guess, in your voice. I don't know if it's been described like that before. That's a compliment, by the way.
All right,
That's
cool.
a compliment. It fits the genre. It fits your tone really well. But what would you say that your genre is? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think I've been talking about this with like my friends and stuff quite a bit recently.
Yeah.
Because obviously when I was first putting the music out, I put like this existential pop thing on there. which I think it was quite a good idea, because then that like sort of allows me to do anything that I want, sort of thing, and it's all sort of like under that umbrella of like sex essential pop. So yeah, I try not to think about it too much, really. But I guess it'd be like a mix of sort of R&B and indie, if you wanted to like really put like a name to it, you know.
That's pretty cool.
But then yeah, there's obviously like a lot of different influences in there and stuff. So yeah, it's something I try not to think about too much, because it can get a bit like, I wouldn't want to like pigeonhole myself into doing like one certain thing, you know. So yeah, so sex essential pop is what I would call it, and yeah, I think it's a nice idea to give your music like its own sort of genre, so that you can have that sort of freedom to play with all different kinds of styles and stuff like that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that. Because, like, you know, I can't really think of a few artists off the top of my head who would fall into that genre, you know. So, yeah, I think it's good to be unique, especially in this day and age where everything just sort of sounds, you know, pretty similar. Stuff on the radio just sounds pretty similar, and it's difficult to rise above all of the, I don't know, all of the watered down stuff that gets played. Yeah,
there's like too many words now for music, I think, you know. There's like too many genres and stuff, where it just becomes a bit like pointless in a way. And obviously, like, you know, Mac DeMarco,
I know Mac DeMarco.
He called his stuff like jizz jazz and stuff, you know.
Fair enough.
Which is like stupid at the time, obviously, but then like now you've got all these like kids trying to do like jizz jazz, you know. So I think it's like a nice idea to give it its own name when you're making music, and just makes it a bit easier, you know.
Okay, so you fall under the slacker pop or slacker jazz genre. So I was wondering, would you say that back in high school or just in school, uni or wherever, you were a bit of a slacker yourself, or were you were like, what kind of demographic did you fall into when you were back in school?
Yeah, I was big slacker, man. Yeah. Especially later on in uni and stuff like that. Big slacker,
yeah.
I think I've always been a bit of like a lazy kind of guy. All the, you know, teachers at school would always be like, "Oh, Brad could do really well if he just like actually put some effort in and all this kind of stuff."
I get that.
Which I probably could have done, but I just couldn't be bothered, really. I don't know why.
We were always just like interested in other things, I guess. Was that?
Yeah, I was just obsessed with music, really, you know. And then like, so I was the kind of guy that was going like, remember when I did my GCSEs, I'd revise like on the morning of the exam or whatever, you know, and like for like 20 minutes. And then the only A I got in GCSE was like geography, purely because I'd read the right thing right before the exam.
Oh yeah.
It like came up on the exam and I was like, oh sick, I've literally just read about this.
Lit, to be honest. Well, I say that's lit. It was the only
it was so lucky.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say I was a big slacker in school, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, okay, so what did you do in uni then? Because if you were a slacker, like, did you do something that related to music, or was it like?
Yeah, I did music, yeah. But I mean, I'm sure the uni isn't going to actually watch this, so I didn't really enjoy the course too much, and I was like playing in a few bands and stuff, and I just used the time to like meet people and like sort of listen to loads of music all the time. So like, instead of going into the classes and stuff, you know, I'd just sit and like on YouTube, like finding music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, I get that, because I mean, I see people always debating about uni being like social awards or whatever, but you know, or being mainly for getting a degree, but I don't see why it can't be both, you know. Like, why can't? Because if I'm paying £9,000 a year for for a degree, I'm going to spend some time meeting some people and making the most of that £9,000. You know.
Yeah, for sure. How old are you?
I'm 19, so
You're at uni now.
I should be.
I think uni is like. I think it's probably more important to like. You know, it's part of like growing up and all that kind of stuff. You know, and like meeting new people, and having like the time away from home and all that kind of thing. So that's how I saw it. I think that side of it was more valuable to me than, you know, learning like, because I was doing like songwriting lessons, and it's hard to teach songwriting, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
The best way to learn how to write songs is to just listen to loads of music, basically.
Yeah.
So doing music, yeah, it was a bit of a slacker degree, to be fair, anyway. And then, yeah, just was more interested in actually playing in bands and all that kind of thing. So,
yeah,
I'm glad I went to uni, but the actual degree sort of means nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it seems to be working out for you. You're getting a lot of monthly listeners. Well, a good amount of monthly listeners, especially for your genre on Spotify. So, yeah, you know, it's working out. But
yeah, I can't complain, man.
Yeah, exactly. Have there been any experiences in your life which have directly influenced writing of a song?
Yeah, for sure. I think all my songs are sort of, you know, based on like real things, but maybe like a bit exaggerated or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, loads. I remember like, if you know the song OTD.
Yeah. That's one of your most popular, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was sort of just written when I was, my girlfriend at the time was like away for the summer.
Yeah.
And that was sort of just completely, I mean, there's only like 4 lines in it anyway, but that was like very directly about that situation. And then like some stuff on the new album as well is like, sort of inspired by the guys from Hers, you know.
I know of them. Yeah, I think I've listened to their music a bit.
Yeah, so I was like really good friends with them. So like a couple of songs on the Kinky Om album sort of about that as well. But yeah, they're all sort of based on real stuff, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of ideas from books as well.
Okay.
Like a lot of reading, and sort of taking little lines from there, or like how a certain book influenced me or whatever, you know.
Yeah. What did your girlfriend think of OTD actually? What was like? Did she like the song herself? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's the main goal, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It was supposed to, like, I just made it for her originally.
Yeah.
And then I was just putting stuff on SoundCloud and stuff at the time. And then when Flirting in Space came out, like people started listening to OTD as well.
Yeah.
So it was I never released it to be like, you know, it's like now probably my most popular song on Spotify and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was never really the intention. It was just like make a little romantic song for this girl, you know.
That's nice.
Yeah. So it's kind of like this sweet story about this song, but I think she liked it at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Wow, that's actually really wholesome, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of a different one. What's your favorite thing about Liverpool? I mean, it probably wouldn't be the accents, I'm guessing, but what's your favorite thing about Liverpool?
I love the accent, you know.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to. I've been here for ages now, so it's definitely grown on me. I'm always trying to do like a Scouse accent and stuff.
Yeah.
Not very well. But yeah, so I don't know, everything really. I think it's I do think it's one of the best cities in the country for sure. It's small enough where, are you in London?
No, I actually used to be. I grew up sort of in the South London area, but I'm in Cardiff right now. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I've never spent much time in Cardiff, but like compared to London, Liverpool is like really small.
Yeah.
So especially like in the music scene and stuff, it's sort of no matter what kind of genre or like kind of music you're making, it's quite like close knit. Like
Yeah, because there's quite a few artists from Liverpool actually. I think there's like a few indie artists that sort of fall into the cluster of your genre or the demographic that your listeners fall into, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like Strawberry Guy. Do you know Strawberry Guy?
I think I've heard of him. Yeah.
And Pizza Girl. Who's like they're both good friends of mine. And then there's a lot of stuff going on that's not really like probably a bit like underappreciated. There's this label called Eggy Records that are putting out like really good stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of thing where in Liverpool you can go out to the pub and like bump into like the whole Liverpool like music scene basically.
That's pretty cool.
So that's really nice. That's probably one of my most favorite things about it. Is that you can just it's really easy to sort of meet people, and everyone's really nice and like very welcoming and all that kind of thing.
I need to get to Liverpool soon then, because you're really bigging it up.
Yeah, no, it's good though.
Seeing the whole Liverpool music scene. I need to get down there.
I mean, maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but everyone's friends. That's what I mean. And it's like, good parties and good cheap alcohol mostly.
Yeah.
And it's just a really nice vibe as well. Like being on the water. Obviously, you've got the history of the Beatles. And like the football as well. Don't know if you're into football. It's a big part of like Liverpool, It's just a really good city. I can't really imagine myself moving out anytime soon, So yeah.
Okay, that leads me on to my next question. Actually, what's the main goal for your career? Are you looking to be globally known, or is it more of a close-knit Liverpool kind of thing that you're looking into, or that you're aiming for?
I don't know, to be honest. I try not to really think about that too much.
Yeah.
I just want to make music that I like. I want to get better, and sort of feel like I'm getting better at what I do all the time, and make some good friends out of it. And I definitely wouldn't want to be like super famous. Like Ed Sheeran or like Kanye or something.
Yeah, I know. Like,
it's just too heavy. Like it's like a completely different world.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, the way people get so heavily scrutinized for everything on the internet. Like, I saw some tweet about Ed Sheeran being married or having a child or something like that. And someone was like, this guy right here, showing like a really unflattering picture of Ed Sheeran with like clothes that didn't fit him at all at like some award ceremony. They were like, this guy right here has had sex and you haven't. And honestly, that just my chest, man. Oh, my chest. It hit me. It hit me really hard because I mean, I'm a Christian, so that's kind of like out of the picture anyway, but still.
Yeah, sure.
It's the principle,
No, yeah, it's heavy though. Like even, Ed Sheeran, I'm sure he doesn't really care, but like you got like the newspapers posting his like whenever he gets like a new conservatory on his house or something.
Yeah.
It's like in the news, and like, obviously Kanye is a good example of like I really like Kanye a lot, and I think like the whole fame thing, like he's gone so rich and famous that it's sort of maybe been sort of detrimental to him, and like his life isn't like his life anymore.
Yeah.
It's like everyone else's life,
Honestly, I just think they need to free Kanye, because like this is really looking like the sequel to Get Out or something. Like they need to free him up.
Yeah.
Oh my days.
But at the same time, like, it's like we shouldn't have to care about Kanye's private life,
Yeah, exactly.
But it's obviously, so I never want to be like that famous, But I'm really happy with where I'm at now, to be fair. And I think you've got to have some like ambition to go a bit further, obviously, but just to be able to sort of make a living from doing music is sort of that was the dream when I was a kid, you know. So
I mean, do you get recognized on the street yourself?
Sometimes, in Liverpool, yeah. I actually had this kid come up to me like a couple of weeks ago in Liverpool, and was like, "Oh, you're Brad Stank, aren't you?" Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah." And then he just started talking about my old band that I was in, for ages. He's like, "What's going on with the old band?" And I was like, "I don't know, man. I'm not like, I'm not in the old band anymore." So, but yeah, if I do, it's normally really sweet. You know, everyone's like very nice, and doesn't happen very often, really. But in Liverpool, a little bit, and I don't know, not really anywhere else, to be fair. But I don't go other places, especially like this year. I've not really been anywhere else, apart from Liverpool. So, it'd be interesting, and because like a lot of my listeners on Spotify and stuff is like over in the States. So it'd be interesting to go there, I think, and I don't think I'd be getting recognised in the street. Maybe a little bit more than in England. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, honestly, I think they'd be doing like some serious double takes, because like, what's this guy from Liverpool doing in like Memphis, Tennessee, or wherever, you know? Okay, next question. What's the bigger message you want to bring through your artistry? Is there a message that every song sort of brought together brings out, or is there just is every song its own thought, I guess? Is every song its own concept?
No, I would say there's some sort of like thing like running through all of it, I guess. Especially on the new album, which was I talked about it a little bit on Eternal Slowdown as well, but it's definitely more sort of like spiritually, like trying to push some sort of like spirituality side, which is I found really interesting, you know, because been reading a lot of like Eastern religious stuff, like Hinduism and Buddhism and all this kind of stuff, and like really getting into it a lot. So the idea for the album was to sort of talk about how like I really want to get into this kind of thing, but at the same time I'm like this. Because I was raised atheist and stuff. So it's that sort of talking about how I find these ideas really beautiful, but like as like a Western guy, you know, it's kind of like hard to sort of fully get into it or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I understand that. Like when you're raised with a certain mindset, it's difficult to push that to the side, I guess, and read into something else wholeheartedly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely the sort of, and like sort of that's like as well, like sort of sex as like a spiritual thing as well, which runs through a lot of the tunes, I think, where I think something that really interests me is trying to combine like, or trying to use like double meaning,
double entendres. Yeah, I love that in music. Yeah, it's like, you know, especially ones that you don't understand straight away, but then a few listens later, you're like, yo, that was sick. Yeah, I love double entendres. But okay, so that covers that. What's the song you think you wish you'd made though? So I know that you listen to the Pixies and Nirvana, Pixies, not the Pixies, Pixies and Nirvana and people like that. What's the song that you wish you had made?
That's such a question. There's so many.
Yeah.
Because like you could obviously say like, I don't know, like what's the most famous song of all time?
happy birthday, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. If you could make money off that, yeah. Like maybe like like a. I don't know. There's so many where like you could just say it because it would have made you like loads of money, you know.
Yeah.
But also, there's a song called "Now Is Better Than Before" by Jonathan Richman. That's one of my favorite songs ever. That's just like really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I kind of wish that I'd written that. Like I wish I could write something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, something like that. Something like one of those songs that kind of makes you want to cry, you know. So yeah, I'll say that Now Is Better Than Before, Jonathan Richman.
I haven't heard that song myself, so yeah, you've given me a bit of homework there.
Yeah,
but
check it out. Check it out.
Yeah. Listeners, check it out.
Check it out.
Listeners, check it out. All right. So, do you ever listen to your own music?
No.
No, really? You think that's weird or something? Because I know it's a really polarizing topic for some artists about listening to their own music. Why not?
Just mainly because you hear it so like while you're making it, you hear it so much, and then once it's out, you kind of want to. You know, I listen to a lot of my music that I'm working on now.
Yeah.
That like isn't out. You know. But also, I don't know why it is. Just not really interested. You know, I think once you've like put something out, I want to listen to other stuff, other people's music to kind of get inspiration for the next stuff or whatever. You know.
Okay. Here's a question: do you listen to artists similar to yourself then, if you don't listen to your own music?
Some, but not really, to be fair. Listen to a lot of like hip hop and stuff, and like crazy jazz, and like I really like a lot of like the old jazz standards. You know, like I love listening to like Chet Baker, and Billie Holiday, Nina Simone, all those kind of like vocal jazz people. So yeah, no, I try to keep up with like new stuff, and you know, like people that are doing the same sort of thing as me, but sometimes it can make you feel a bit rubbish. You know, if you're like listening to someone else in like, there's a lot of people that listen to me, listen to this guy or girl or whatever.
Yeah.
And you think it's amazing, and you get a bit like, oh, I wish I could. Like, why didn't I do that or something?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So I tend to listen to just a lot of old stuff, really. Yeah.
What's the meaning behind the pondweed euphemism? Because what led you to that euphemism there? That's a hell of a euphemism. So what's the meaning behind that?
It's just, I mean, I don't know if you smoke weed. You said you were Christian before, so maybe not.
Let's not get into that. Let's focus on you.
All right, okay. But basically, back home, when I was like, 16, when I was getting into smoking weed and stuff.
Yeah.
Whenever we get like a really shit bag of weed, can I swear? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So like you get like this like a shit bag of weed. It's like all damp and like gross, and we just say it was like we just used to call it pondweed. And then yeah, that's where it came from basically. So it just means really bad weed.
So why is the girl in the song smoking pondweed then? What's she getting?
Because that was the point. It's like, oh, we're smoking this shit weed together, but it's nice because because you're together.
That's
like,
actually, yeah, okay.
Kind of trying to be romantic.
Yeah, I like
to
that.
Be romantic. But also, it's a bit of an anti-weed song as well, really, because like the lyrics are sort of like you smoking all this crap weed and you end up becoming like a bit of a shit boyfriend or something, because you just like smoking this rubbish.
Yeah.
And it kind of messes with your head or whatever. So yeah, it's kind of like an anti-smoking weed song, but then all the stoners absolutely love it. So, yeah. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so it's kind of gone against the grain, I guess, but
Yeah,
it was against the intended point. But still, I like the song myself. It's a good song.
Nice one.
Okay, so that brings us to our next segment of the podcast. Our last segment, Would You Rather, just to sort of ease things out.
Ooh.
Yeah, Would You Rather. All right, so this is the point where if I would have some kind of like intro music to it, but at this point I just I haven't gone around to it yet. I need to do it. Okay, so would you rather always smell like farts or have no eyebrows?
Oh my god. Can you draw eyebrows on in this situation?
No, you
So
can't.
you
You
no
can't have
eyebrows.
eyebrows in any sense of what.
Oh my god, that's hard. That probably no eyebrows, I guess.
Really? But then you'd like be going against your stage name, you know? When I saw that yesterday, I was like, yeah, that's bad Stank himself.
Yeah, I don't want to stink of farts though.
Yeah.
You know, you
No.
always smell of farts, which you know
Like,
you probably have no friends by the end of that. So
like sometimes, right, I might forget to spray like a bit of perfume or whatever, or forget to put deodorant on or something, and I'm just like, man, I know I probably don't stink right now, but I still feel like I'm doing a disservice to everyone. Like, how is it, right? How is it? Because I work at a shop. How is it that it's illegal to go out smelling like actual garbage? This one time I was there, this entire family came through absolutely stinking of piss. Like I was shook. I was legit. I was about to go point them to the health and beauty aisle with all the shower gels and all that. Because we have a wide array there, and it's like, how are there so many different varieties of that kind of stuff, and you still manage to stink? What's going on? What's not clicking here?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I think smelling good makes you feel good. So
Yeah.
I'd definitely rather have no eyebrows, I think.
Yeah, I think same, to be honest. So if you couldn't do music, right? So I'd say there's probably three main elements of entertainment: music, comedy, and acting. So let's say somehow you can't do music anymore, like your arms and legs get chopped off or something, and you lose the ability to sing. I don't know, not thinking about it too much. Would you rather do comedy or acting?
Wow. Probably comedy.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it though. But I can't act either.
Yeah.
So, but I think it'd probably be more worthwhile to be able to make people laugh, rather than playing like super serious acting roles or something. So, yeah, comedy. I'll go comedy.
Fair enough. That's a solid choice. Honestly, I think I'd choose comedy as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like telling stories and making people laugh. So,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, here's one. Would you rather collaborate with Kurt Cobain from Nirvana? So let's say he just, I don't know, didn't die, or he's come back to life for one final song, or Black Francis from Pixies.
Oh, wow. That's a heavy one. Probably Black Francis, yeah, from Pixies.
Fair enough.
Just because I think they probably had more influence on what I do than Nirvana.
Yeah.
Although I was like the biggest Nirvana fan when I was like 13, 14. But yeah, musically, probably Pixies is like a bit more interesting. So, Go Pixies.
Okay. Solid choice. I've never actually really listened to the Pixies a whole lot, but yeah, I'll definitely take a look at them after this.
The album Doolittle is really good. Check it out.
Doolittle, okay. Okay. Last one. Would you rather be eaten by crocodiles or 100 random strangers be eaten by crocodiles?
Man. It's got to be me, hasn't it? It's got to be me.
Ah, man. I'm probably going to get cancelled for this.
No, you'd rather the 100 random strangers?
I'd consider... I think I might say me in the end, but I'd have to take a good while to say it. Like, maybe a week or something, just to take a nap, prepare myself for this, you know?
No one wants to be eaten by crocodiles, but...
Yeah, that's true.
I think you'd have to save, like, depends who they are, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. If it's completely random, then you get people from all walks of life, you know?
Yeah, it'd have to be me, I think, for sure.
Yeah,
which is sad. Thanks for that question.
Yeah, that was a pretty bad one to end on. Okay, now I've actually got one more question. This is sort of like a self-promote, do whatever question. You are heard by everyone on Earth right now. For 10 seconds, what do you have to say?
Wow. Listen to my album Kinky On. And take it easy, and be nice, and do the best that you can possibly do. There we go.
That was really wholesome.
That's putting me on the spot there.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'd probably promote my own stuff if I was being seen by 8 billion people. Then I'd probably promote my own stuff. Okay, Brad Stank, it's been a pleasure having you on the Sheénanigans Podcast.
Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. Okay, so listeners, make sure you go listen to Brad Stank's new album, Kinky Love. Sorry, pardon?
Kinky Om. Yeah.
Make sure you guys listen to that. I don't know why I forgot that I drew a blank for some reason. But yeah, make sure you guys listen to Brad Stank's new album. Make sure you comment who you guys want to see on the next episode of the Sheénanigans Podcast. And I will see you all next time.